threaten that what we're going to do is we're going to work with the Israelis. That would be the Ehud Olmert government. And we're going to have them start the war against Iran and drag Bush into the thing. He'll have no choice but to get into it because the Iranians will hit back at American targets and then we'll be dragged into the war. Bush will be dragged into the war. And they were making that publicly known. And that story was broken by a guy named Stephen Clemens, who is not a fabulous, he's sort of a center-left Bill Clintonite or whatever, but he is not a radical or the kind of guy who makes up garbage. You know what I mean? He had this on very good authority. And then the New York Times also verified it. And then so did a journalist named Barton Gellman in his book, The Angler. And he's the guy who got the Snowden leak from the Washington Post, along with Glenn Greenwald and them. And he's a decent guy. I mean, his book, Angler on Dick Cheney, is pretty good. And that's in there too. He verified that story as well, that this was a full court press at the time to try to even do an end run around the president, to do whatever they could to drag him into war with Iran then. And he resisted it. And then it was just a couple months later that the National Intelligence Council put out the NIE saying Iran isn't even trying to make a nuclear weapon. So that, never mind their route to the bomb, the war party's route to a war with Iran over their pretended race to a bomb is canceled because the CIA says it's all bunk.
Which is always, I wanted to ask you about this more because I was brought this up on the show the other day, and I think was it in the Tucker interview that you did get into this a little bit? But the like focus group testing where they decided that nuclear is the way to get the American people behind a war.
I forgot if I said that to Tucker, who I say a lot of things, but yes, that's right, and that is in the book. In enough already. It was on the eve of Iraq War I. It's in the fall of 1990. So it's Operation Desert Storm, and they're building up toward the war, but the American people are against it. And so I forgot like what date they debuted the babies in incubators hoax. You know, I should have that tighter on my timeline, where in the story that comes in. But they had, the supposed threats to Saudi Arabia and the incubators hoax. But Americans were still like, I don't know, man, I thought we were cashing our peace dividend and all that. Like Cold War's not even, the Soviet Union's not even gone yet, right? Still early 90 or, 90 and to early 91.